Problems in parent-child relationships are among the most sensitive and complex challenges modern families face. Today, I would like to address several key issues that often arise between parents and children: disobedience, adolescent crisis, emotional distancing, and the feeling of guilt that many parents silently carry. Let us begin with the topic of disobedience. When a child refuses to listen, many parents see it as a direct challenge to their authority. However, from a developmental standpoint, disobedience is often a natural reaction to growing independence. Children explore their boundaries, test the world around them, and express emotions they do not yet know how to articulate. Inconsistent rules, lack of attention, or overwhelming emotions can all become triggers. What children need most at such moments is calm guidance, clear expectations, and the reassurance that their feelings matter. As children grow older, they enter adolescence, a period filled with dramatic change. The teenage years are often marked by conflict, mood swings, and a strong desire for independence. Many parents feel confused or even rejected during this time. But adolescent crises are not signs of failure. They are signs of growth. Teenagers question everything around them, including parental authority, as they search for their identity. They may resist rules, argue more frequently, or withdraw into their own world. What helps most is open dialogue, respect for personal boundaries, and the understanding that, despite their behavior, teenagers still need emotional support and guidance. Another significant challenge is emotional distancing. This can happen gradually, almost unnoticed, until one day a parent realizes that their child no longer shares thoughts or feelings as freely as before. Emotional distance may rise from stress, fear of judgment, unresolved conflicts, or simply the fast pace of modern life, where both parents and children become absorbed in digital devices. Rebuilding closeness requires patience. Small but consistent acts of attention, shared meals, conversations before bedtime, or mutual hobbies can help bridge the gap. The key is to show genuine interest in the child's inner world. And finally, we come to the issue of parental guilt. Many adults carry a quiet, persistent feeling that they are not doing enough for their children. Social media, societal expectations, and personal insecurities only deepen that sense of inadequacy. Parents worry about making mistakes, about working too much, about losing their temper, about failing to provide the ideal childhood. Yet guilt, when left unchecked, becomes a heavy emotional burden. It clouds judgment, leads to overcompensation, or creates unnecessary anxiety. It is important for parents to remember that perfection is neither possible nor necessary. What truly matters is the ability to communicate honestly, to repair misunderstandings, and to show children that mistakes are simply part of being human. In conclusion, the difficulties that arise in parent-child relationships are not signs of a broken family. They are natural challenges that every household encounters at one point or another. Disobedience, teenage conflicts, emotional distance, and parental guilt all reflect deeper needs for understanding, boundaries, and affection. With patience, empathy, and open communication, parents and children can grow through these challenges together, creating stronger and more resilient bonds for the future. Let us look a little deeper into these themes and see what stands behind them, and what can be done in real family life. When we talk about problems in parent-child relationships, we often focus only on the child's behavior, the disobedience, the silence, the sharp words of a teenager. But behind every reaction, there is always a story. The story of the child and, just as importantly, the story of the parent. Many adults themselves grew up in families where emotions were not discussed, where strictness was valued more than tenderness, where obedience was more important than understanding. Without noticing it, they may repeat the same patterns in their own parenting. That is why it is so important to see not only what is happening now, but also why it might be happening. When a child does not listen, it is not simply because they want to provoke. They may feel powerless, misunderstood, or scared. When a teenager slams the door, It is not only bad manners, it is often a clumsy, immature attempt to protect their inner world, and when parents feel guilty, it is usually because they take all the responsibility onto themselves, forgetting that relationships are a process involving two sides, and that no one enters parenthood with a perfect instruction manual. Let us return, for a moment, to disobedience. Imagine a small child who hears no dozens of times a day, "Don't touch, stop it, you're too loud, behave yourself." For adults, these are just necessary corrections. For a child, they can start to sound like, "You're wrong, you're inconvenient, your wishes do not matter." This does not mean that we should allow everything. It means that the child must feel not only where the boundaries are, but also that they are loved and accepted inside those boundaries. A calm explanation, a chance to choose between two allowed options, a few words of understanding before a prohibition. All of this radically changes the emotional tone of upbringing. Now think about the adolescent crisis. Many conflicts at this age arise from the collision of two fears. Parents are afraid of losing control, while teenagers are afraid of losing themselves. Parents try to protect from bad company, from dangerous choices, from mistakes that could have consequences. Teenagers, on the other hand, try to assert themselves, to make independent decisions, choose their own style, their own friends, their own interests. When these two fears meet, the conversation often turns into an argument. Here, the main resource is trust. Without trust, any prohibition or advice sounds like an attempt to suppress. With trust, even strict rules are perceived as care. Trust does not appear overnight, it is built slowly, through hundreds of small interactions. Listening without immediate criticism, holding back from sarcasm, the ability to say, "I don't know how to handle this either, but I want to understand." A teenager may outwardly seem indifferent, but he or she hears and feels these nuances very clearly. Emotional distance is another signal that should not be ignored. When a child stops sharing, it does not always mean that they no longer need us. Sometimes it means that they are quietly checking. Is it safe to be honest with us? Will they be laughed at? Will they be immediately lectured? Or will they be truly heard? At times, children close off after specific episodes. A harsh comment, a betrayal of trust when a personal secret was shared with others, or a dismissive remark about something that was very important to them. To reduce this distance, parents do not need to become ideal psychologists. It is enough to become more attentive. Ask not only how was school, but how are you really feeling today? Notice small changes. Comment not only on grades and achievements, but also on efforts and feelings. Sometimes the most healing phrase for a child is, "I see that this is hard for you. I may not fully understand, but I am here if you want to talk." And what about parental guilt? This feeling often grows in silence. Parents rarely speak openly about it, even with close friends. On the outside, they try to appear confident and in control, but inside they torment themselves for every quarrel, every shout, every moment when they did not have time, did not react, did not understand. Guilt can be useful for a brief moment, as a signal that something needs to change. But if it becomes constant, it eats away at energy, hope, and the ability to enjoy everyday contact with the child. It is here that a very important idea arises. No parent is able to avoid mistakes. The question is not whether we will be wrong, but what we will do after the fact. Will we shut down, defend ourselves, and blame the child? Or will we dare to say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that"? For a child, hearing these words from a parent is a powerful life lesson. It shows that even adults are learning, that relationships can be repaired, and that love is stronger than any single conflict. Over time, many of the problems we have discussed become intertwined. Persistent disobedience can grow into constant conflict in adolescence. Emotional distance can reinforce parental guilt. If only I were a better mother or father, the child would tell me more. And guilt, in turn, can lead to either excessive softness or excessive rigidity. It becomes a closed circle. from which it is difficult to escape without awareness and support. Support can come from many sources. Sometimes it is a partner who is willing to listen without judgment. Sometimes relatives or friends with parenting experience who are not afraid to admit that they also struggled and doubted. In some cases, it may be useful to turn to a specialist, a family psychologist, a counselor, or a support group for parents. This is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of responsibility, a desire to understand and change the situation, rather than simply enduring it. The most important thing I would like to emphasize is this: every step towards more conscious parenting already changes the atmosphere in the family. A quieter tone of voice during a conflict, an extra 5 minutes in the evening to talk about the day, a small note in a lunchbox, an unexpected thank you to a teenager for their help, a sincere I love you said, not out of habit, but with real feeling. These small actions gradually build a space where both children and adults can be themselves, imperfect, emotional, sometimes tired, but still connected to each other. So when we speak of problems in parent-child relationships, we should not see them only as obstacles. They are also opportunities. Opportunities to better understand ourselves, to re-evaluate our own childhood, to break destructive patterns, and to give our children something more than just care and control. We can give them an experience of relationship where there is room for both rules and tenderness, both independence and support, both mistakes and forgiveness. And perhaps, years later, when today's children become parents themselves, they will remember not the specific words we said, but the feeling that lived in the house. I was important, I was heard, I was loved, even when I was difficult. If that feeling remains, then, despite all the crises and conflicts, the main task of parenting will have been fulfilled. Let us take these ideas a little further and look deeper into what truly lies behind parent-child conflicts. Problems in families rarely emerge from nowhere. They grow out of emotions, habits, fears, and unspoken stories on both sides. And to understand them, we must look not only at the child, but also at the parent, at their own experiences and expectations. Many adults grew up in environments where emotions were not openly discussed, where obedience was valued more than communication, and where mistakes were seen as flaws rather than opportunities. Without realizing it, they may bring these patterns into their own parenting. This is why it is so important not just to see what is happening, but also why it is happening. When a child doesn't listen, it may seem like simple misbehavior, but often, behind disobedience lies confusion, frustration, or a need for connection. When a teenager slams the door, it is rarely about disrespect. It is usually a clumsy attempt to protect their inner world. And when parents feel guilty, it is often because they carry the weight of every conflict, as if it defines their worth. But it doesn't. Parenthood is not measured by moments of struggle, but by the courage to keep showing up. Again and again. Let me bring a few small sins to life moments that could take place in any home. Imagine a small boy refusing to put away his toys. He throws himself on the floor, hides behind the couch, and pushes the toys even farther across the room. His mother, exhausted after a long day, raises her voice without thinking. "Why do you never listen? I'm tired of repeating myself." The boy doesn't understand the words, he only feels the sharpness. He doesn't know why she is angry, he only knows that he wanted to finish the game. Now imagine the same mother, the same day, the same mess. But she pauses, takes a breath, and says, "I see you don't want to stop playing. You can clean up now or in 2 minutes. You choose." This is not magic. The child won't instantly transform, but he will feel something different. That his needs are being recognized, and that boundaries still exist but with understanding. Let us move to a home where a teenage daughter has had a rough day. She bursts through the door, drops her backpack, and shuts her bedroom behind her. Her mother follows, knocking anxiously. "What's wrong with you again? Why are you always so dramatic?" The girl stays silent. She wants to talk, she really does, but she fears criticism. comparisons, and lectures. Now picture another version. The mother approaches softly and says, "Whenever you want to talk, I'm here. I won't judge. I just want to understand what you're going through." Then she walks away. 20 minutes later, the girl steps out on her own, because now there is space, not pressure. A door gently opened, not pushed. Or consider a father who notices that his teenage son no longer leaves his room. The boy spends hours on his phone, and every conversation ends with the same flat words. "It's fine. I don't know." The father's worry grows, but every time he tries to speak, it turns into a lecture. "You're wasting your life on that phone." The son pulls further away. Now imagine a small shift. The father sits down and asks, "Will you show me the game you're playing? I want to see what you enjoy about it." It seems simple, but for a teenager, it means everything. His father is not trying to take something away. He's trying to understand. And finally, picture a parent who carries guilt like a second skin. Every night they lie in bed thinking, "I didn't do enough today. I lost my patience. I wasn't the parent I wanted to be." But one evening, they choose honesty over self-blame. They sit with their child and say, "I'm sorry for being too harsh today. I'm working on it." And the child, instead of criticizing, nods or hugs them, because children, more than anyone, know how to forgive. And from this, they learn the powerful lesson that mistakes do not break relationships, silence does. These small, ordinary moments are where real change begins. Parenting is not shaped by grand speeches or perfect decisions, but by hundreds of tiny interactions. The pauses, the soft tones, the willingness to listen, the courage to apologize. Let us briefly outline a few practical steps that can make these interactions gentler and more meaningful. First, slow down. Most conflicts escalate because we react before we think. A 3-second pause can turn frustration into understanding. Second, ask questions instead of making accusations. Instead of "Why are you acting like this?" try "What feels hardest for you right now?" Or "How can I help you handle this?" Curiosity calms. Blame closes doors. Third, express your feelings without attacking. Instead of "You're driving me crazy," try "I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I need a moment to calm down." This teaches emotional responsibility, a skill children will carry into adulthood. Fourth, create small rituals that belong only to your family. A nightly chat, a weekly walk, a shared hobby, a best and worst moment of the day conversation. These rituals become the emotional anchors of childhood. Fifth, allow imperfection. Parenting is not a test to pass. It is a relationship to nurture. You will make mistakes. Your child will make mistakes. The goal is not perfection, it is connection. And now, let me address every parent who may be listening to this message. You do not have to be flawless. Your child does not need a perfect parent, they need a present one. They need your authentic voice, your genuine presence, your willingness to learn and grow. They need your patience, even if you cannot always give it. They need the comfort of knowing that, even on difficult days, your love remains steady. Even if there is distance between you now, it can be bridged. Even if conflicts have piled up, they can be repaired. Even if you feel lost, you can find your footing again. Because the relationship between parent and child is not a straight line. It is a path, sometimes winding, sometimes steep, but always alive. And every day offers a chance to take one step closer. One day, when today's children become adults, they may not remember the exact lessons or the precise words, but they will remember how they felt in your home. I was valued. I was heard. I was loved, even when I was difficult. And if that feeling stays with them, then the heart of parenting has already succeeded. If you'd like, I can help expand this into a full video script, add dramatic pacing, or create a version with shorter segments for voiceover recording. And so, as we come to the end of this reflection on parent-child relationships, let us remember one simple truth. Families are not built on perfection, but on presence. Every misunderstanding can be clarified, every moment of distance can be reduced, and every mistake can be transformed into an opportunity for growth. What truly shapes a child's inner world is not the absence of conflicts, but the presence of love that persists through them. Parenthood is a journey that no one walks without stumbling. It is a path marked by learning, recalibrating, trying again, and discovering new parts of ourselves along the way. There will be days when patience feels impossible, when communication breaks down, when both parents and children retreat into their own corners. But there will also be moments quiet, unexpected moments when connection returns, when a conversation opens a new door, when a child leans in, or a parent listens more deeply than before. These moments matter. They show that even in the chaos, even in the struggle, the relationship is alive. It is flexible. It can heal. If you are a parent listening to these words, know that you are not alone. Millions of families around the world face the same doubts, the same challenges, the same late-night worries, and yet, every day, parents continue to try. They reach out again. They soften their tone. They create new rituals. They apologize. They begin again. That willingness to stay engaged, to keep learning, to keep loving is the greatest gift you can offer your child. It is also the greatest gift you can offer yourself. So let this be the final message. Do not measure your worth by your worst days. Measure it by your courage to repair, your openness to understanding, and your commitment to love. For in the end, the strength of a family is not defined by the absence of problems, but by the presence of hearts willing to grow together. If you ever feel the need for guidance, for tools, or simply for a reminder that you are doing your best, return to these ideas. They are here to remind you that every family can rediscover connection, and every parent can build a relationship that lasts. And with that, our story comes to a close, not with a perfect ending, but with an invitation to continue the journey, to nurture the bond, and to believe in the powerful, healing force of understanding between parent and child.